Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I'm up here in my room again. I don't really have to go to the barn right now because I have my brother in law here, so he helps me with that. There, so yeah, I would like to go and walk around there a little bit. Maybe I'll make another video, but my tablet's not charging right, so we'll have to see what's up with that. Anywho, so again, I'm gonna read some out of the Divine Principle today. Chapter 13. Ooh. Part 1. I don't know what to categorize this one in yet. So there's one thing I like to share on how when you get to know yourself, when you know as a believer, say in our Heavenly Parent, God, be a Christian, per se, read the Bible, read the Divine Principle, one needs to know first, figure out what do I need to work on? What do I need to work on first? Before one can go out and then say, hey, guys, come on now, right? The one thing for me was, even as a child, that is why I'm not against gun control. I mean, I'm not against people having a gun for the right reasons, right? But if you have a gun and you wield a gun and you want to use a gun in a way that then you endanger your family, and not just defense, but it becomes offense as well. Then, and depending on how much in control are you of that weapon that you are holding. In my life, I came to the conclusion I cannot hold a gun. And the reason is because I could very easily mow down everyone around me without any kind of thought to it if they endanger anyone in my family. Myself, meh. How do I know that? The one reason I started martial arts is to control my rage. Some people's past childhood, this and that, comes out in depression, anxieties, certain other mental health issues that are floating around now, being autistic, being this, being that, for one reason or another. And in my case, it was, I guess there were some things in my childhood, right, that caused this absolute rage that I could get into over injustice. And it was never really for myself or this or that. It was when injustice was happening somewhere, and I just saw red. And when I would see red, even as a child, I became the lethal weapon. I'm not going to get into the experiences that I had as that. So, how starting martial arts? Well, that is kind of for a lot of people, it's to be able to punch someone down this net. For me, it was the opposite, to learn not to do that, to control that rage that suddenly could surface over something. Uh, our own experiences in life always guide us towards what we will be best at teaching others, right? To find to that heart of God. I do believe that. So we'd like to talk about trials, this, that. For me, it's has become more lessons to be learned. I just saw a good one, or saw one, where one of the problems is that people who should be cherished are often just used. And I said, well, it kind of goes both ways. One can try to do that, but the ones who feel, well, we should be cherished rather than be used, also have to acknowledge that you're probably letting people use you. Right? Instead of teaching them, you're letting them use you. Then you use that as another down pointer, another percent, for you to dig deeper into depression or anxiety or rage. Right? Why would you want to walk around out there with a gun, a big gun? Why? To kill your own countrymen? You're not in the military. There are many different ways there are many different ways, and there are people trying out there, but there aren't enough, right? Yes, we've got prayer warriors out there. They pray every day for the better of the world, but there aren't enough. For example, there are other people out there who are trying to save children from abuse, but there aren't enough. There are many different people helping veterans who are coming back with PTSD, and gosh, some of them come back physically really tore up as well, but survived. But there aren't enough. Right? There aren't enough. And just a thank you for this and that, and yeah, and just point the finger at, well, that's your problem right there. Just that's not the way to go. So we busy ourselves in our lives with so many different things, right? We should make time every day to save the world again. Do some damage control, at least where we can. You should be out there knowing as a Christian, knowing the Bible well enough to have an answer for everyone that comes your way, or you get into a situation where you're secure enough to make a difference in that situation towards goodness and not evil or violence. Right? You should. And if you have to give your life like Jesus did, well, then so you do. So you do. Violence only continues to be happening because there's we're feeding that fire. We need to feed that fire on the other side, on the side of goodness. That's what you do. Okay? Yes. Doesn't mean you have to let everybody step over you, step on top of you and over you and this and that. That's not it. If you are secure enough, as I said, if my rage that somehow is there, and I know how dangerous I can become as a person to another person, then I need to fix that. I need to at least control that. It doesn't mean that my rage is all negative, but the thing is, I need to control that 100%. And in a way to do that is, right, so I've got that physical rage. I need to apply that to my heart to mind and use that, right, use intelligence and knowledge, right, to get to someone per se. Right? Yeah. Well, then there is also don't go to places you already know you're probably going to endanger your life. As I said, war is one. There's no commoner out there that wants to go to war, really. When it comes down to it, and you just take care of your family, raise a garden, this and that, go to work. It's the leaders that are, for one reason or another, brainwashing you into a rage. Why? For what? Oh, to save other people. Really? If you go and look at the wars out there, yeah. As I'm talking to everyone, not just we consider certain nations as evil, but the people there, they're just like us. And again, if nobody goes to war, what are the leaders going to do? Shoot all their people? How well, if they don't have any soldiers, what are they going to do? Okay. Yeah, well, but it's not like that. Yeah, because we decide not to make a change. Again, we decide not to make a change. I decided with my rage that I had to make a change. I didn't like. I was shocked over what I was capable when I would get mad. So, yeah. So, in the divine principle, under creation, good and evil, an act or the result of an act is considered good when it fulfills God's purpose of creation. This takes place when a subject partner and object partner unite through the harmonious and spirited give and take of love and beauty, become the third object partner to God. and form the four-position foundation. On the other hand, an act or its result is called evil when it violates God's purpose of creation by forming a four-position foundation under the dominion of Satan. I don't think it is all that difficult to figure out what that is. We want to be righteous people, not realizing that anytime you want to go after someone else's life, even if you are a really good person just trying to defend someone, defending someone is one thing. Going after another person's life is another thing. You see, there is a difference. Oh, why be so set on, because I know what will await you when you go to spirit world, when you take the life of another person. Why advocate that then? We've got to find other ways to reach people, to heal people, right? From either that absolutely spread out. It has spread out. Everybody's misery just has spread out everywhere. And it's difficult for people to get out of that. That's why every day, give yourself that self-confidence. You get up, I'm going to go save the world again today. Damage control. Especially when you work with younger people together. I had an interesting thing. One of my children called me ma'am. I said, you don't get to call me ma'am. You call me mom or mother. And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I felt that was disrespectful. Oh, but that's not so, no, you stop that right in the tracks. And if it causes a little bit of friction, this and that, well, you go with it. Yeah, try to explain. I explained it. I explained why I felt that way. Yeah, I am your mom. I am your mom and I am your mother. I gave birth to you. And I deserve the proper respect to be addressed in a proper way. Other people can call me ma'am, yeah, but not my children. Do not call me that. You see? Yes. So you nip that in the butt right away, right? Yes? Yeah. Next thing, I'm going to be called a birthing person. Oh, hell, you know what? My rage probably will come up. All right, okay. I've become verbally very, very good at, yeah. All right. See, I try to make sure that rage, that it doesn't go to where the rage, right? You see? Yeah. Yes. It's still within me. It's still within me. It needs to be checked. It needs to be checked. Every day I have to check that. Every day I've got to make sure that I'm tempted to. I want to go out there and give some people their just desserts for what they have done, especially when it comes to the abuse of children. But also there, no, that's if children have a big enough body around them of people that protect them, then evil can't penetrate. It can't. It'll just be pushed back. You see? Well, anyway, one has to understand that, right? For example, when an individual realizes God's first blessing and fulfills his true purpose, the actions to this end are good and the individual is good. These actions involve the free-flowing give and take of love and beauty between the mind and the body, so that they unite in the way of God and form the individual four-position foundation, which is God, man and woman and child. When Adam and Eve achieved the second blessing by building a family that realizes God's purpose, their actions to this end are good and the family they form is good. These actions include joining as a couple in the way of God through the harmonious and passionate sharing of love and beauty, bearing and raising children, and thus establishing the family four-position foundation. Moreover, when a perfect individual achieves the third blessing, the actions to this end are good, and all things that he nurtures are good. By relating with the natural world as his second self, and by becoming completely one with it, a union is formed which becomes the third object partner to God, thus constructing the four-position foundation of dominion. That's interesting. You start to own your surroundings. Oh, not in a monetary deed kind of way, okay? But through the eyes of God, you become the owner, yeah, of your surroundings. You manage them. How are you going to manage them if you're not well? Especially mentally. How are you going to do that? Can you do that? Probably not, right? Sadly, also in certain mental conditions that we are in, then we attach ourselves to people that are teaching us not the right way. Yeah. I find it interesting on how sometimes I have to step back and say, okay, whose battle is that? I need to be a part of that? Surely not. But then when it comes to the whole of the world again, I'd say, okay, all right, I'll do my best to try to change their mind. But yeah, it's a give and take. Even there, it's a give and take where you just, okay, little by little, maybe, right? A seed will grow where towards goodness, right? And hopefully there won't be evil coming to stamp it out every time you try to do that. Yeah. To begin with, as adults, I'd say at this time it is our responsibility to become stronger human beings on the side of goodness. And you do that, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed on how then suddenly you open the door to spirit world where then they can come, whoa, look, I know that person's real mad at me, wants to do it, they can't get any closer. They can't, yeah, for some reason or another, right? Yes. I saw another good one where someone says, well, the first thing I look at, or when you look at a person, when you greet them, and they look and they smile at you, or they smile at you when you walk past this, you already know, wow, there's something really good happening within this person, right? Yes, something to pay attention to. Don't you want to become one of those people? I always smile at people. Okay, I don't go out very often anymore. All right, but I always have a smile. And anybody comes home, just and smile on my face. I try to remember to do that. Okay, I don't really have to remember to do that. I'll just do it anyway. Right. Okay. Okay. The rest of it. Okay. Moreover, when a perfect individual achieves the third blessing, the actions to this end are good, and all things that he nurtures are good. By relating with the natural world as his second self, and by becoming completely one with it, a union is formed which becomes the third object partner to God, thus constructing the four-position foundation of dominion. Conversely, when a person forms a four-position foundation under the bondage of Satan and realizes a purpose contrary to God's three blessings, this act or its result is called evil. Sadly, there's just a little bit left. Sadly, that is exactly what war does. This is what leaders do. That is not, I don't care which war it is. There was never a foundation of give and take built with God. And it's a consequence of the selfish desires of and greed of human beings. And of course, Satan loves or did. There's have changes already happened there. We're kind of on our own now to restore things. What does Satan love more than anything else? For people to destroy each other. War is a great way to do that. A great way. And to live in a country here where people start talking about civil war again, or as I said, carry the biggest gun around that you can. You want the right for it for what? To kill your countrymen. That's what you want. That's what your desire is. That is what your goal is. You can become strong, a strong person. You can become a person that when you're out there, you're walking out that you won't get attacked. You won't get attacked. It's odd on how people with evil intent uh, manage to find the weak. Yeah. More. Besides that, if you have a dog by your side, I don't understand why people in stores where they got problems with people stealing and this and that, just get a dog or two. Huh? That's what I would do. Yeah, but you're not like, well, they're allowed to steal and walk out your door. Why can't you get a couple of dogs? I guarantee you, yeah, with the security guards, then I guarantee you them robbers won't come in. They're usually scared of dogs. Again, because a dog doesn't, right? Yeah, a dog just attacks when you give him the command. It's one of those things, right? Yeah. I won't let our dogs attack anyone, but I don't have to. They see those dogs and their hackles are up and they're growling and everyone's ooh, yeah, okay. All right. A small example. Righteousness refers to that quality in a person which leads him to pursue goodness and further its purpose. Unrighteousness refers to that quality in a person which leads him to pursue evil and further its satanic purpose. A righteous life is absolutely necessary for the attainment of goodness. Yes, beware that you do not fall into the pit by trying to defend yourself, by trying to protect you and your family and your surroundings and this and that you're not start doing the same thing that you abhor or disregard in the first place. Yeah, or suddenly certain uh, practices, right, and the principles of love and the principles of creation that you suddenly fall into because, well, everybody else is doing it, right? It's sad on how the temptations and desires that come from the evil side, from Satan's side, right, from the unrighteous side, on how these desires they're very palatable to us, to many people. And even though we point the finger at it, we're still a part of it. We're a part of it because so many other people are a part of it that makes us comfortable to be a part of it as well, until misery strikes within ourselves. If a person is honest about that, they know that is right. Yeah. Yes. Why don't family members talk to each other about a problem? Why do they have to go to a psychiatrist or a therapist? Yes, see? They keep it on the wraps, right? What's it called? Doctor-patient confidentiality. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's an odd one, right? Yes. Well, anyway, I guess, yeah, that's why I know the rage that can be within a person that is so dangerous that it takes over and can destroy a lot of things. But if as a child I realized that and knew I had to control myself and to find a way to control myself, if I knew that, then I think everyone else could know that. What their weaknesses are when it comes to have a true give and take with our heavenly parent, and then live according to that, protect according to that, take a defense according to that, right? Yes, yeah. And teach. It's not just about waiting for something to happen. You teach, right? The more you teach, the more possibility it there is. It can become that okay. There's one dark spot that's kind of disappearing because the people's heart to mind has regained some healing. Yes, see, yeah. Can you imagine if every Christian out there were to do that? Not with a accusing, well, you're going to go to hell if you're not doing this or that. No, just trying to teach. Yeah, trying to teach how to start with a smile to start with. Whoever you come across, give them a smile. Right away, a smile, a genuine smile, right? Hello, good morning, hi, yeah, okay. even just walking past, is right away someone with, you know, a darkened mind, and maybe some even very bad intentions. Oh, you dampen straight away. You dampen that, right? Yes, yes, yeah. The one thing I've learned is you do not interfere in people's lives per se when they want to live a certain way. You do not do that. That only creates more uh, discontent and disunity. You just wait. But like I said, when my daughter said, "Hey, yes, ma'am," I'm going to, excuse me? No, 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 you don't call me ma'am. You call me mom or mother. Right? So I nipped that right in the butt because I didn't like that. And of course, she says, "What's the problem with that?" So I explained it to her. Oh, okay, got you, mom. All right, all right. God's love and blessings always. That's all I have to share today. And yeah, make good choices. Yes. Okay. God's love and blessings always. I will talk to y'all another time.